tribe has spoken.
I know that you were really upset about me falling asleep that day for some reason.
Hello.
Welcome back to yours truly.
Sorry.
Nice. We are here discussing
Survivor.
season 47. So excited. This
Me too.
was a great
Yeah,
opening.
it was a great. I was very happy.
I was locked.
I was like, I put it on, and I was like, this episode is long. I'm so like, I was just like, this is my happiest place.
Yeah,
being here watching a season I have not watched.
Yeah,
it's just the best.
I feel like they got a good cast this year.
They do.
I'm impressed so far.
I do like the casting of Survivor. They pick some pretty quirky people, and
they have to
love it.
They have to. I know. The weirdos.
Yeah, but it's like. There's always the weirdos, the quirky, and then you got a few kind of like normal, but you have to have both to like balance it. But I love, the first couple episodes I feel like are like the first episodes of like American Idol where you're like, it's just you're getting to know everybody and like loud personalities kind of jump out. The bummer is you really only get to know like the first couple certain tribes and certain people. Like there was a guy that came on the screen at one point and I was like, who is this? Who's this guy? But
I feel like I know exactly who it is because he's on the red tribe.
I don't even know what tribe he was on. But his face came on the screen and I was like, it was towards the end of the episode and I was like, who is that? He's here?
I feel like on the first episode we got Major of the yellow tribe.
Yeah.
Was a decent chunk of it.
Yeah. And you always get to know the people who lose first, obviously, because they go to tribal and whatnot. You get to see them kind of
definitely
scramble.
I loved at the beginning of the episode, I don't know if you remember it now, but Jeff does like a really cute little speech about community.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I like loved it. I don't know why I loved it as much as I did. But he was just talking about how like we as like humans crave community and then you get out there. And what you think you like can't do is like have community, and then you rely on it even more. And I was like, "Whoa, Jeff!
Yeah,
spitting some bars right out the gate, Jeff."
I love that Jeff like has committed to this.
Like this is it.
This is it,
and he knows it. And
he like. I think because Survivor has like grown so much, and it's become like this cult thing, like this cult following. Like he's here for it, and like he also loves it and loves seeing. I think it's so genuine. Like he loves seeing people transform and like really push themselves and like learn and grow. So I think like even when people get voted out, it's even more sentimental now because it's like he usually has some words with them or whatever. But
I feel like he also it's just the best job ever. Like he is only in a small fraction of the episodes.
Yeah.
And he's in Fiji.
Yeah.
He just rolls up.
No, for sure.
The man's only wearing a blue button down with cargo
shorts and some sneakers and a hat.
And I'm like, good for him.
Love that.
He's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
25 almost, which is even crazier. And then I also was going to say, I do think with this New Age Survivor, what I miss the most is the themed seasons.
Yeah.
I miss there being a shtick.
Yeah.
Because when he's like, this is Survivor season 47. I'm just like, but what's the theme?
But what's the
what's the underlying premise we're trying to break down?
I know. They used to go all out on those themes. Like
themes. The brain versus brawn versus meat. That's like a crazy.
Yeah. And then because it would be like the tribes were based on that theme. Yeah. Like everything was based around that
exactly.
theme.
And it was all about breaking down whether like they think that's who could win or something.
Yeah.
And so I just loved it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's been then they were so I mean, I think they're still because for a while it was like 2 tribes. And then all of a sudden they changed to like starting to do the 3 tribes. Do you remember that? It used to only ever be 2 tribes.
It did.
And then they went hardcore into the 3 tribes and now it's exclusively pretty much for the first at least.
Yeah. It's weird because I remember it.
Yeah.
Well, is the first 11 seasons are 2 tribes.
Yeah.
And then the 12th and 13th season, they do that weird theme where the 12th season was men versus women, but then also old men, young men,
Yes.
old women, young women on 4 different tribes. And then it was also then on season 13, it was the race one where they split them up amongst races. And I was like, I can't believe
that was allowed. I do remember
I
that.
was like watching it because I had watched that season for the first time in like 2021, and I was like, this would never happen.
No. Even doing like the beauty brain brawn
that's foul.
That is foul.
That one wasn't that long ago.
No.
I feel like they could maybe do that one again.
Yeah.
But then I also loved the one where they did David versus Goliath.
Yeah.
Because they were like, look, these people were privileged their whole life. And these guys weren't. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
It is interesting dividing people on a certain basis because you're like, wonder how I ended up on this tribe.
Love it. I feel like
I wonder when the people find out what
I think it's then
what tribe they're on and what the other tribes are. Because I'd be like, wait, what? Why am I on this tribe but not that tribe?
I feel like for the brains versus bronze versus beauty, I almost would be offended in every single category because I'd be like, okay,
so I'm brains, clearly not beauty, or I'm beauty and I don't
obviously I'm not smart.
Yeah.
And so, but I do miss the themes.
Yeah,
I just love a good theme.
The themes are funny.
Ugh.
I mean, yeah. Now I wonder how they do it. How do you think they split it up?
I almost feel like it's a draw of the hat.
Yeah.
Because they like have to do it so random.
Yeah,
where
it has to
seems
be
not at all
completely random.
Strategized.
Yeah.
And so maybe they do.
Because I wouldn't even say they're like evenly.
I think it's 3 guys, 3 girls.
Oh,
on
really?
every single tribe.
Okay, but I wouldn't say it's like 3. Like they
weren't
really,
all like 3 strong.
They
guys.
don't really
No.
disperse strength. I mean, because it's again then you get into like dividing people based on what So it's just like gender. That makes sense.
I think so because there's 6 on everyone to start this season. And so, but it's very interesting. I thought the first challenge was good to get for the flint.
Oh yeah, they like ran through the mud.
And then all the puzzle pieces.
It is always like fun when there's like a nice kind of go get 'em challenge right at the beginning. I think the most shocking is I think it was 20 or 21 villains versus where they like wrestled and like physically fought on the first within 5 minutes of being on the beach, and they're wrestling. There's like a shoulder dislocation. There's like someone's top comes off. It's like insane.
That season is my favorite season ever. And it's because it just goes so hard right from the start.
Literally right from the start.
So insane. I was like, this is crazy. And so,
but yeah, I love that energy going right into the beginning. So they did that.
Yeah.
Was it, I think last season, some guy like split his head open.
I don't even remember.
Oh, I don't know if you
I did watch those seasons.
But yeah, they started off strong. And in this new age too, you have to like, you really basically start with nothing as a tribe and you have to like earn everything, which I think is smart to do because before the survival part played a much bigger role, but you got like kind of the basics to start up because like you literally wouldn't survive.
Part of me does think it's a little sadistic. Like they don't get food, and I remember last season because
short. It's so short though.
No, it's not because I remember last season that one tribe that lost like the 7 times in a row. She was like, "I've gone 6 days without eating," and I was like, "At what point?"
Yeah, I don't think.
When are we gonna?
I don't think us as spectators really know.
No,
but I think because it's so it's literally so short, and they had to like add some type of element in.
I don't know if it's right though. I really don't. Not even to have rice.
Yeah.
And they don't have a flint. They didn't have a flint for all those days, so they couldn't.
You could start fire without flint.
Yeah. That doesn't even, but still, like eating.
Yeah.
Like they had no food.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Sure, I haven't eaten for 6 days."
Yeah. And I'm like, there has to be. They can eat, like there has to be stuff on, or they could like it's just harder.
I think it's like if you win the fishing kits, you can go and get fish or like clams or like crabs.
Yeah,
but if I haven't eaten for 6 days, there's not a shot I'm going to be able to survive in the water. I'm going to die. I feel like I have to be withering away.
Yeah.
I have to save every ounce of energy for the challenge.
Again, who am I? I've never spent a day on an island without food. But like there are things to eat. It's just harder to do without a fishing kit. But like you could potentially fish or catch things or find things on the island. I don't know.
I don't think anyone's going to catch a fish without any sort of fishing kit. Unless you like sharpen a stick and stab it.
Exactly. I think that's the whole point.
I just
it's made to be harder.
It's dangerous.
I mean, they're still doing it though, but they sign up for it.
You have to sign some sort of waiver, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I did think it was pretty edgy of the girl, or risky. She's on the Red Tribe and she's a podcast host of a Survivor podcast.
I thought that was interesting.
I was like,
too.
that's like a bold move to go on.
Yeah.
And expect nobody to know who you are.
Yeah.
Because like that's a major target on your back if they find out. And so one of our team members knew
who she was.
It was in New Jersey. I think I want to say her name's Tina.
Yeah. No, I know who you're talking about.
And so I was like, wow, bold choice to try it out. Yeah. If you have a even semi-successful Survivor podcast. But
great. I mean, she's going to have some great content for her podcast after this.
Great content for her podcast. She's been pretty boring, though, so far.
Yeah. Yeah. There hasn't been she's the one who went on the journey.
Oh, yeah. I would never volunteer for that.
Me neither.
I would never volunteer
It's so interesting to see because I don't know. It's just, I mean, this is like the ultimate experiment, experiment for people, but you get to like really watch how people approach the game. Like some people are all in searching for idols and like taking every advantage. Yeah. Some people aren't doing anything. It's just like interesting. I don't think one way really is correct. I just think it's how you do it.
I think a lot of people mess up. And I think because we saw it with Rome and Andy. Like they were, and Gabe, all three different dudes on each of these tribes, they were far too aggressive from the start.
Yeah, yeah.
If you go full on aggressive like that, everyone's turning their back on you. Right out the gate.
Yeah.
And it's hard to recover from that no matter what.
Yeah.
Unless you like go so hard in the beginning and then absolutely do nothing.
Yeah.
To try and work back the trust of your tribe mates. But all three of them we saw with targets on their back by the end of episode 1. Because they all just went way too hard.
Yeah.
And
you got to kind of ease in, but you do have to play early on. You can't not play because the game is so rapid that like before you know it, I've seen people like they make it to the merge and they have really not done anything.
I think for me personally, what my strategy would be is I feel like I would play a hard social game in the first few days, but just like only with like 2 of my tribe mates. Because then if you're going around to everybody, that's going to all come back and people are going to be like, I thought I was in an alliance.
Yeah.
So I'd play a hard social game with like 2 people. And then on day like 3 with one of those 2 people, I think that's when I would do like idol hunting. Just start scoping it out.
Yeah.
But I would never volunteer for anything like that.
These people running off into the, like they haven't even had a conversation with everyone on their tribe. And they're like running off.
I'm like, you guys are so dumb.
Stupid.
So dumb.
Yeah.
Rome is so annoying.
Yeah.
On the red team. I was like, we need to get this guy out.
This guy needs to go.
Done with him. He just talks so much. I'm like, I think that would maybe be my Achilles heel is people would get annoyed with me.
Yes.
But
I think we get less of that with the new age, like the older when they would like spend days at a time. You really see people get on each other's nerves.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
But it was like that was like the comical reality side of it where I was like the drama and the lore of it is like so good to me. But now it is a lot more kind of like
gameplay.
Yeah. I don't think though, because there's a girl and she's working with these guys that she finds annoying. And I'm like, I don't think I could separate the gameplay with them, like me disliking them as people.
No, I think
like,
I would have to play with people that I like naturally vibe with. Yeah. And that might be my downfall, but like I naturally vibe with people or I naturally don't vibe with people. And I think it would be really tricky to play with someone I don't naturally kind of gravitate to.
It'd be hard to keep my mouth shut at least. Like if I was the girl that like if I was Parvati on season 20 of Heroes versus Villains, and I was with Russell till the end, I would never have made it that far. I would have been so mean to him and snapped at one point that he would have dropped me. And so I'm like, people who don't like their best allies, I do give major props to, because that is like, that would be such emotional turmoil in my brain.
But then it is
I would
hard.
lose it.
It is hard. This game is so good because it is hard if you are like so close with somebody, then you get further and further into the game, and there comes a point where you can't be besties all the way to the end.
And if you are besties till the end, and then you have to like throw them under the bus during Final Tribal, it's always so awkward to watch.
It's cringy, yeah. It's like,
so
I hate that.
Watch.
And so, I mean, you have to have pretty thick skin to be on the game anyway. But yeah, it is tricky to like be super close with an ally because, at some point, somebody's backstabbing the other one.
Were there anybody that stood out on each of the tribes for you?
Well, I mean, I think we obviously have to talk about the breakdown.
I am obsessed with Andy. I absolutely love him. I cannot believe.
I did initially, but then I was like, my guy.
And when I say I love him, it's very sarcastic. Like, the drama is so good.
I think initially I would be like, it's just hard with it because, like, you're trying to figure out who you vibe with and connect with. And then if someone just completely goes off the rails on day 3, I'd be like, oh my God, like, I can't play with this guy.
No, and I, like, couldn't suck up to him either.
No,
And so, like, you haven't seen it, but in the second episode, they're, like, cheering him on while he's opening a coconut. And I'm like, no. I would be laughing. Like, I would be like, we're only doing this because last time you literally—
He threw a fit.
You threw a fit that we didn't cheer you on while you open a coconut. And you told everyone, the whole other 2 tribes.
It just was like, there's usually, I mean, people go crazy, have breakdowns. But I think this was record time.
Yeah, it was.
On day 3, this guy shows up to the challenge and completely unloads.
Yeah, and the fact that he laid down and
my
left
gosh,
his
he,
tribe while they were
left.
Still finishing, and he's like, I can't. I'm like, dude, pull it.
Literally, I laughed out loud. Jeff comes over and he's like, do you need medical? He's like, I gave everything.
I'm like, okay.
You're so dramatic.
It was too much for me. I hated it.
It was so funny.
And then while he had the meltdown, when Jeff asked him, and he was like, I'm thinking I'm going to throw my best ally, John, under the bus. I'm like, if I was John, I'd be livid.
I'd be like, what?
How dare you?
Yeah, it was very, it was just, I loved it too.
It was so messy.
So cringy. All the other tribes are like, what?
And I feel bad because like in the very beginning, Jeff asks him, he's like, what? And he was like, I only had like 1 or 2 friends growing up.
He was like, I didn't fit in.
And then like he was like, I'm going to fit in. And then it was literally like a day later. He's like, they all hate me.
They don't like me. They didn't cheer. they didn't cheer me on when I opened the coconut, and they cheered the other guy on.
I love it. I'm like, Andy, shut up. And so then they lost.
I would be so pissed if he was on my tribe.
No,
I would be so.
100%.
That's when I wouldn't be able to separate like my person. I'd be like, I'm not playing with him.
No, because at that point in my mind, no matter what, like they did the argument that he's stronger than John, but I'm like, he is on day 3, borderline giving up, and is such an erratic player. You can't play with that.
No, and I think I was with like I would have wanted him gone, and I don't know if like I get like the strategy kind of behind it, but I'm like, that's again, maybe would be my downfall because I would make emotional like decision. I'd be like, I want him gone. Yeah, I can't play with him. He's a loose cannon.
Not at all.
We can figure out the strength later. Yes, he needs to be gone, and they kept him.
And they did keep him.
They kept him.
Secretly was like, okay, I'm happy because I wanted to see him again. It was giving the same vibe as
I know,
Baru from last year.
He was so entertaining to watch. But if I was playing with him, I would have been like, that one time the girl was like, get up off your knees and talk to me like an adult. And I was like, go off, queen.
He's like, please, God, help me win. Please, God. And he's like, don't let them go home. And
he would like drop to his knees and be like, please, please, please.
I'm like, dude, that is not how you play the game. What are you supposed to do with that?
Literally.
Like, I'm like, what? I have to keep you? Like, you're nuts.
Yeah. So we do have a loose cannon on one of the tribes.
And I love it.
And it is so entertaining. So yeah, I was glad that they kept him for my enjoyment.
He continued the entertaining side through.
That's good.
And so I was kind of bummed that guy, John, got voted out.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't. I had thought they made a big deal of him being on the show in like promos and everything.
Yeah.
Because they said he was a producer. And like, I don't know why.
He's also a podcast host, right?
Yeah.
And he was like a speechwriter.
Yeah. I thought he was a producer of Survivor.
Oh, no, I didn't get that.
Yeah, I was 100% wrong.
I don't know where you got that
That's
from.
crazy. Yeah, I know. I was like, oh. So not at all accurate.
No.
He was like a minor celeb, though. His podcast is
he has like a pretty successful...
It's like political podcast.
Yeah, because
he's in the world of politics.
He's in the world of politics. He was a speechwriter. So he could have been probably dangerous down the road.
I would probably
maybe a good call on their end to get him out.
He's way too strategic.
Sometimes it is like, I guess, better to keep around the people you know that are just aren't gonna make it.
I love it. But
yeah,
who do you think? Okay, now predictions on winner. Who do you think is gonna win after one episode?
After one episode,
I have my top 2 picked. So you can do top 2 if you want.
I don't. It's hard because I feel like I know nothing about the other 2 tribes.
Yeah, but you have to pick. The people want to hear our prediction.
I know, but it might change.
Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, maybe it's the girl. She had the funky pants on.
Okay. Yeah.
I think she might do well.
Okay.
Because I feel like she's going to be a good social player.
Fair.
She's really leading with the social aspect.
Game.
And I think she's like very likable, charismatic. So I think that typically does well because, you're like kind of got your hand in all the pots a little bit.
I would agree.
And then
it's a good pick.
I don't know. Maybe that podcast girl will do well.
Okay.
That's kind of just a loose.
All right.
There's a lot of people that I know nothing about, so they might jump in front. But
that makes sense.
Yeah, those 2 maybe stood out to me, I guess, on the first episode.
Okay. I think my top picks.
Okay, let's hear it.
Are Rachel from the Yellow Tribe. I pulled up a picture of her because she wasn't.
She have the
memorable.
freckles.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why. I just feel like
I was gonna say I didn't know her name, but
I feel like she could do really well.
Yeah,
she seems like a
her.
smart.
She was the one
player.
that Andy was like trying to talk to, and she's like, "Dude, stop!
Yes,
don't come down. Like we're not talking on the beach in the morning."
Exactly.
Like, okay. Yes.
And I was like smart because she knew she couldn't cut herself off. And then I honestly do think Sue on the Blue Tribe, the older lady, could do pretty well. I think she has a good social game.
Yeah.
And I think she could go pretty far.
Okay, I could see that.
And I think she's kind of like lined herself up.
Yeah.
Already with like a bit of an alliance in the first episode. And so that's my prediction.
You heard it here first.
We'll keep up with the weekly updates of the show for season 47. But that is all from us.
See you next time.
Bye.